Hello, everybody. Welcome to another amazing episode of Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another amazing episode of Youth Connect. I hope that you are excited because we have tons of awesome information for you. Now, do be warned, of course, I'll always say this in advance. We will not be having Nibras this episode, but don't worry. I have planned for some movie news, or technically like a movie review. So don't worry. You'll get your entertainment news. But for those who don't know, what in the world is Youth Connect? Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that was created during the pandemic for the community, by the community. Everybody here is advocates for all abilities, and as broadcasters, entertainers, we want to be included in opportunities for acting, directing, writing, music, and as speakers. Did you know that many of us already own our own podcasts, YouTube channels, and even websites? There's so much that you can learn about, so please do check us out. But Youth Connect is going to be a show that I know that you are going to love. You already met my other co-hosts, as you heard. We got Joshua, we got Kevin, and we even got Jeffrey. But if you know, starting off our Youth Connect, we always have to go with myself and our gaming news. All right, the first part of our gaming news always has to be our Spotlight Game of the Week. Now, what in the world is that? It's basically a game that I'm going to shine the light on that has either come out, is going to be releasing, or is an old classic. And the one that I'm choosing is an old classic. And let me tell you, this game won the 2018 Best Multiplayer Game and Best Feels Game Awards, which is quite a feat to win an award for your game. But today's game of the week is called, you want to hear it? I don't think you're ready for it. Risk of Rain 2. So I haven't actually heard, I've heard of Risk of Rain every once in a while from my friends, but I never actually knew what it was. And I was graciously given this game by one of my friends. And let me just tell you that this game is a lot of fun. So you are a survivor who is stranded on an alien planet. And to survive, you must navigate through various worlds, various planets, killing monsters and looting chests to collect items to boost your offensive and defensive capabilities. And over time, the game increases, spawning more powerful and dangerous creatures. So this game is all about surviving and collecting treasures to survive through the entirety of the game. You basically kill monsters, loot chests, fight the boss on each planet, and eventually fight the final boss and escape the planet. There are over 110 items, each with their own and unique abilities that can help you through this game. And you know what? Give yourself a little bit of defensive and maybe even some offensive powers. For example, you can fire a giant fire tornado at someone or a huge black hole. You can fire rockets, missiles, and you can even corrupt yourself with some evil corrupted items. It's a game that's definitely fun. And guess what? You can unlock up to 11 playable characters, each with their unique skill set and are really fun to play. And as all games are, did you guys know that this game is really good with modded stuff? Trust you me, I've been having a lot of fun. And if you know with me, I absolutely love modded anything. So this game with its mods are absolutely fantastic. It's a game that's 4 players, and it's a game that has a lot of diversity. So it's definitely something that I recommend that you guys should check out. Again, it is called Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 1 is good, but 2 is really, really good. But anyways, that has been my first gaming news. And next up, we have Kevin with some all-important news.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. For now, let's go to the headlines. Toronto to keep priority routes clear ahead of major downtown road closure. The world's largest rubber duck returns to Toronto harbourfront. Doug Doug Ford thinks it's a great idea to move Science Center to Ontario Place, and Toronto Raptors soul searching after play and loss. The city of Toronto hopes to keep designated roads clear to reduce traffic congestions due to the construction of the Ontario line. As of May 1st, no non-emergency utility work will take place on priority travel routes. On-street parking will be restricted and cafe TO installations will be prohibited. There is only one road designated as a priority travel route so far, which is Dundas Street between Jarvis and Bathurst. The restrictions will remain in place until the summer of 2024, says the officials. The route was designed designated in response to a major closure to a busy portion of the Queen Street. Traffic between Bay and Yonge Street will be diverted for the estimated 4.5 years. Provincial Transit Agency Metrolinx has predicted the 15-stop Ontario line is expected to be completely by 2031 and will run from the exhibition place to the downtown core to the Ontario Science Centre. The world's largest rubber duck is set to return to Toronto this fall. The 60-foot tall, 14.5-ton inflatable bird, sometimes called Mama Duck, will make an appearance at the Toronto Waterfront Festival on 16th of September and 17th. This isn't the duck's first rodeo. Toronto last hosted the enormous yellow bird in 2017 when the duck made a splash in Toronto for Canada's 150th anniversary. In 2017, 75% of Waterfront Festival visitors said the rubber duck was their main reason for attending. Any additional festival programming will be announced very soon. Premier Doug Ford hinted on Thursday the Ontario Science Centre may be moving to Toronto's waterfront, something that could not create a tremendous opportunity for more housing. The proposal, which would see the museum and educational centre moved to Ontario Place, has been on the table for about a year, Ford told reporters at a news conference in Kitchener. The provincial government submitted his development application for a new Ontario Place, which has been decommissioned since 2012. In November, the proposal included about 12 acres of accessible public space as well as a family-friendly attraction with a wave pool, watersides, and restaurants. The proposal has sparked a lot of criticisms from advocates who don't want to see a mega spa on the waterfront and city planners who found some issues with the proposed redevelopment. Mayoral candidate Josh Madlow, released an open letter Thursday asking Ford to reconsider moving the Ontario Science Centre until after he consults with community groups. In sports news, Fred VanVleet thinks it's time for the Toronto Raptors to move on from their 2019 NBA championships, not necessarily a whole space personal change, but come to grips with the fact that they are a different team now. Fred VanVleet spoke friendly about what went wrong with Raptors season on a Thursday, a day after Toronto was eliminated from an NBA's postseason by a score of 109 out of 105 play-in loss to the Chicago Bulls. VanVleet was one of several players who spoke on Thursday as they had debriefing with head coach and Nick Nurse. Toronto's front office and the team's medical staff, most of the Raptors were still processing the play-in loss for the night before, which saw Toronto cough up with an 18-point lead and shoot only 50% from the free throw line when they made it to Ontario's Media Center. But VanVleet, one of the most experienced leaders in Toronto's locker room, already had a plan for how the Raptors could recalibrate for the 23 to 24 campaign. In today's weather forecast, we've got this sunny this afternoon. The temperature is now 28 degrees. And tomorrow's temperature will get a mix of sun and clouds, and the temperature will be at 21 degrees. Our fun fact for today's topic is, you know what I'm referring to? Ice cream. So who does not like ice cream? Ice cream is available all year round, as you can see in this the poster. But it is best eaten during summer. Ice cream is a soft frozen dessert made from milk, cream, sugar, and other flavors. According to some ice cream dates back in 550 BCE in Persia, Their ice cream was composed of sweetened ice water crushed into tiny pieces sprinkled with toppings and fruits. When Marco Polo returned to Italy, he brought the idea of sorbet desserts from his travels to China. Therefore, he was considered responsible for the influence of ice desserts in their country. And since the 16th century, India had made a most famous frozen dairy desserts called kulfi. It was made by pouring milk flavored with pistachios and saffron into metal tubes chilled in ice pools. So how was ice cream first made? Before refrigerators, there were different methods of making ice desserts. During winter, ice has harvested and stored into ice houses. Ice, ice harvesting was effective for cooling drinks and sorbets. However, the desserts could only be chilled but not frozen, so they had to think up for other methods. After some time, the endothermic process was discovered. This method involved using salt in freezing because it makes the desert even colder. They were still the people who used this method even after the invention of refrigerators. Ingredients were mixed in a container with ice and salt. The ice cream maker would manually turn the container while making the ice cream and scraping the mix from the sides of the container. The first mechanized ice cream maker in the world was now developed in 1843, or it was developed in 1843. And now some for more facts. More facts. Chocolate ice cream was the first invented before vanilla, but the latter is the most popular flavor. The US is the country that consumes the most ice cream. Ice cream sellers sells the most on Sundays. A scoop of ice cream can be finished with a 50 licks. An ice cream headache known as brain freeze is triggered whenever something cold or frozen touches the roof of the mouth. The research study said a person who eats ice cream in the morning stays more alert than those who don't. There are more than 1,000 flavors of ice cream in the world. That's all for today. With that, we come to the end of my segment. I'm sending you back to Aiden. See you next Friday.
Thank you so much, Kevin. You know what's interesting about ice cream, which I heard you say? Now, let me just say this again, guys, because it's quite shocking. Vanilla wasn't the first type of ice cream made, it was chocolate. But did you know the reason why? Because vanilla was very exotic and very rare in the 1700s. And that was when the start of the ice cream craze started. Now, did you guys know that some of the weirdest ice cream flavors are like avocado, garlic, chili, Silton cheese, and even bacon? Yes, those are types of ice cream flavors. I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying an avocado flavored or licorice flavor. But you know what? I think my limit is garlic and bacon. That's a little bit strange for an ice cream flavor, I have to say. But honestly, I absolutely love talking about ice cream. But I'm going to ask everyone else. So, you, Joshua, and you, Jeff, what did you guys think of Kevin's news?
I gotta say, I really love chocolate ice cream. It's so good.
Is that your favorite flavor, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
Joshua, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Do you have one? Don't know. Okay, well, it's okay. It's okay. Now, on to the next one. Thank you again so much, Kevin, for your very important news, which is a mixture of weather, some facts. But you know what? I got to say, my favorite part is the facts. And I always love the background that you have behind you all the time. Moving on to our second gaming news, we're going to be moving on to, if you guys have been looking with your eyes, and if you are gamers and Nintendo fans, you know that recently one of our favorite games just got a brand new trailer. And do you know what it was? It was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, what happened? Yesterday, we got a brand new Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And let me tell you, we finally know that Ganondorf is going to be a villain in Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I don't know if he's going to be the main villain. I think it's going to be a mixture of villains. But you know what? It looks absolutely fantastic. If you ever have the time, go to Nintendo's channel on YouTube and check this out. It showed us mechanics It showed us brand new types of characters. You're going to be teaming up with all of the residents of in Legend of Zelda. There's going to be new characters, side characters, and you're going to be basically working together to stop Ganondorf from corrupting the land with his dark magic. But following the trailer that recently dropped yesterday, a dedicated web page for Tears of the Kingdom went live, which IGN spotted recently. In addition to general information about the game that we already knew, the site reveals that Link will start his journey in the sequel not on Hyrule's surface, but on the brand new floating islands. As said, a description reads, "It's there our hero will have to gain new abilities before returning to the surface world to begin his epic adventure." So basically, these islands are gonna be like kind of like a tutorial base to show off the new abilities. And I think the demo version of the Breath of the Wild game is just going to be on the islands, so it teaches you the new mechanics before you go down. It looks amazing, and like I said, we saw Ganondorf, and let me just say this. Some artwork dropped of Ganondorf, and people are absolutely obsessing over Ganondorf. Apparently, people saying that the designs are very intriguing and interesting to look at. And I think it's quite funny to hear that because Ganondorf is really evil. But I mean, the fans are fans, I guess, in some ways than not. But in my honest opinion, Ganondorf looks absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait to see what this game has in store for us. It even included slimes falling down. Then Link had to swim through the slimes to get to the next island. It has a bunch of new mechanics into it. I cannot wait to explore that game. And I cannot wait to 100% it. Trust you me, guys. And you might be thinking, you can 100% Breath of the Wild? My brother taught me how to do it. And trust you me, it's a lot of work. And I bet you Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be even more work. But obviously, this has been my second gaming news. And next up, we have Joshua with some good story news. And of course, your very favorite animal news. Oh, Joshua, I can't seem to hear you. Hold on. Technical difficulties, guys. Hopefully we can fix it with Joshua. All right. You know what's really good about us, guys, that we can work together? I will get a quick news for you guys in between because Joshua just needs to fix his microphone. Don't worry, guys. As you will still get your good story news and your animal news. Joshua's just going to quickly fix it. And you know what? I will bring you some news. So I'm going to bring you some entertainment news. Also, a movie review. What movie am I reviewing? Well, I'm going to be reviewing the movie that I've been absolutely loving. And you know what it's called? It's called the Super Mario Brothers movie. So, a movie created by Illumination Studios. A movie that has been said by critics to be a very bad movie. But let me just say this. As a fan of the Mario series, all of those critics have never played a Mario game in their life. IGN is the one you should follow with a 9 out of 10 rating, and that's what it deserves. This movie is absolutely fantastic.
Nope.
Oh, did we get Joshua?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear us, Joshua? Or can you hear us?
Yes. Loud and clear, Aiden.
All right. I'm going to have to stop right there, guys. But don't worry. I'll give my decent review on the Mario movie. But I'm going to head back to Joshua for good story news and animal news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Connect Now for a good news story. In the oldest and most prestigious young adult science competition in the U.S., 17-year-old Ellen Shu used a kind of AI to design the first diagnosis test for a rare disease that struck her sister years ago. With a personal story driving her on, she's managed an 85% rate of positive diagnosis with only a smartphone image, winning her 150 grand for a third place finish. Kawasaki disease has no existing test method, and relies on a precision years of training, ability to do research, and a bit of luck. Symptoms tend to be fever-like and therefore generalize across many different conditions. Eventually, even if undiagnosed, children can develop long-term heart complications, such as the kind that Ellen's sister was thankfully spared from due to quick diagnosis. Shu decided to see if there was a way to design a diagnostic test using deep learning for her medicine and health project for the Regeneron Science Talent Search Competition. This talent search has been organized since 1942, attracting 1,900 students every year to contribute their ideas to solve society's most urgent challenges. She designed a complex neural network, which is a form deep learning algorithm that mimics how our eyes work and program it analyze a smartphone images for potential Kawasaki disease. However, this complex neural network needs a massive amount of data to be able to effectively and quickly process images against references. For this reason, Shu turned to crowdsourcing images of Kawasaki disease and its look-alike conditions from medical databases around the world, hoping to gather enough to give the neural network a high success rate. Shu has demonstrated an 85% accuracy in identifying between a Kawasaki and non-Kawasaki symptoms in children with just a smartphone image. A demonstration that saw her test method take third place, a 150,000 reward at a science talent search. Now for another good news story. Spanish teen publishes book about grieving to help others after losing mom. While Olivia Hahn is flipping through through her family's photo album, she needs no pictures to remind her how meaningful it was to share snacks, drink tea, and watch her favorite TV show with her mom, Patricia. However, it was not the best of feelings when her mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer and when Olivia was too much in shock to feel anything at all. Although they made the most of those months in hospital, Olivia also couldn't imagine that when she told her mom, I'll see you tomorrow, she wouldn't get the chance to say goodbye. The then 15-year-old says she spent the next few months feeling lost, alone, and separated from her peers. While she searched for resources to help, Olivia was left feeling frustrated. Her dad, John Hahn, says his daughter couldn't find anything expressing grief from a teenager's perspective. John recalls saying to her, I can't find a counselor to help you. If we can't find a book, I guess you're going to have to write one. Despite having never before written regularly, Olivia started doing just that and pouring her into the pages. And pouring her pain into the pages, she began writing poetry to express the feelings she kept locked away before embarking the bigger project. Instead of writing from a clinical distance, Olivia found courage to express herself being in the midst of mourning. A year later, the now 16-year-old has published the book entitled Healing Our Wounded Hearts, a real-life story lost about in the voice of a teenager. While sale from her book will support local palliative care, Olivia's ultimate goal is to empower others like her to begin her own healing process. Now turning to animal interest news. Hugging cat befriends dog missing both front legs in Victoria, BC. Katie Thorne will never forget the day she visited the animal shelter and met Otis for the first time. I took the cat out of the cage and she just wrapped his little arms around me, just started purring, Katie recalls before laughing. And my husband just looked at us and said, he's coming home with us, isn't he? Katie's husband was right. They adopted Otis and the orange cat has been hugging his humans home ever since, especially when Katie arrives from work after a really rough day. Katie will also never forget when she traveled to India and volunteered daily at an animal shelter. She met a feral dog who had her front legs ripped off in an accident. After they were both amputated, she looked more like a kangaroo than a canine. Her name was Mama Roo. I was incredibly inspired by Mama Roo and her amazing resilience. Kitty says sharing a video of the dog at the shelter struggling to hop her on her back legs but never giving up. When Kenny returned to Canada, she couldn't stop thinking about that dog's strong spirit. So she returned to India 2 years later and found that Mama Ru seemed to have remembered her too. Kenny felt compelled to adopt Mama Ru, but was concerned about how she would be with Otis when she finally arrived in Canada. However, Otis was prepared. He immediately put out his paws to hug and pulverize the pups with purr. Kenny shares countless photos and video of Otis embracing Mama Ru. Says the cat's consistent and calm caring seems to have helped with the dog's healing. Otis approaches every situation with a big open heart. Kenny smiles and goes into every situation expecting the best, which has resulted in Mama Ru and Otis becoming the best of friends. This is what can happen when a caring human connects a dog with who no longer can hug with a cat who just can't stop hugging. This is Joshua Show reporting for Youth Connect. That's it for me. Now I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
You know what, Joshua? The second news was a little bit sad to hear, but you know what? That the third news was definitely something a little bit more heartwarming. It's always nice to see animals comforting each other because you know what? When you see somebody being comforted, it just makes you feel like that person is being loved. I absolutely love the news. And let me ask you, Kevin, and you, Jeffrey, what did you guys think of Joshua's news?
I love the third news.
I love the third news as well.
I agree on that. Mama Ru, what a name, obviously. But you know what? Still heartwarming to see that, you know what, giving love and care, despite the fact that dogs and cats are not the best of friends. It seems like that's just a rumor because you know what? Seems like they work together just fine. Honestly, thank you so much, Joshua. And now, guys, it's time to move on to our third gaming news. Oh no, our last gaming news. Sadly, that is going to be the case. But I have a board game of the week. What is board game of the week? Well, basically, board game of the week is a board game that I want you to check out because obviously we can't always talk about video games. We always have to also talk about some board games every once in a while. And today's board game of the week is called Mind Bug. First Contact. Ooh, what is Mind Bug? In Mind Bug, you summon hybrid creatures and send them to battle against your opponent. But when you summon the creature, the opponent may use one of their mind bugs to take control of it. You must outwit your opponent in a fascinating tactical duel in which having the best cards and playing them at the wrong time couldn't be deadly for yourself. So, why is it called Mind Bug? Well, let me just say this. They represent some pretty weird creatures, and I have a list for you right here. They all come with some unique and powerful abilities, such as, for example, a compost dragon, a snail hydra, or a Kangasaurus Rex. Those are some pretty scary monsters, if I say so myself. Each player starts with 10 creature cards. 5 in hand and 5 in a draw pile, and tries to use them to reduce their opponent's life to 0. In addition, every player receives 2 mind bug cards that can be used to mind control an opposing creature when it is played. This innovative mind bug mechanism is the core of the game and leads to a unique decision-making process that makes Mind Bug feel utterly different from any other card game. I definitely have to say for Mind Bug, imagine it, guys. You put down your strongest monster, then I can throw down a mind bug and control your monster to attack you. You got to be careful. You're going to have to use your mind bugs carefully and choose your monsters carefully. It's a strategy game, guys. There is no way of getting out of it. You got to use your brain. You can't just throw cards down. But in the end, when the opponent falls to 0 life points, the game ends. But remember, guys, this game is extremely fair, but also extremely competitive. It's a really cool game. And you know what? I like these fusions of monsters, like, for example, a snail hydra. That sounds absolutely amazing. And I really want to see what these cards designs look like. I've seen actually just a couple, which include the compost dragon, snail hydra, and Kangasaurus Rex. They're definitely a little bit wacky, and I really want to see more of the design. So I might buy Mind Bug for my family because this sounds like a game that I would want to check out. if you ever check out a board game that you want to send to us, make sure to comment down below, and I'm definitely will have to discuss about it, because you know what? I always want to hear from our friends. But next up, usually I would say next up is Nibras, but I guess we can go on track and continue what we were talking about before. If you guys remember, we were talking about movie review. And what movie were we reviewing? We were reviewing the Mario movie. So let's get back on track on that. So Mario movie. What is the Mario movie? It's a movie adaptation of a video game, and specifically Super Mario Brothers, my favorite iconic series. Now, what makes this game and movie so interesting? Well, if you ever hear about Mario movie, you might know that critics have given it like 34% Rotten Tomatoes, saying that it was a boring, dull movie and it didn't do anything crazy. But let me just say this, guys. The audience gives it a 96%. And if you compare it to 200 critics and 19,000 people agree that it's about 97% overall, or 300 critics saying that it's 30%. You want to know why? Because they've never played any Mario games. They expect a movie with life-changing story that blows your mind. But here's my honest opinion. The Mario movie, the characters were stunning, and as per usual, Jack Black carried the entire movie. He was absolutely fantastic as Bowser, plays Bowser, and has made a song called Peaches that has been stuck in my head for weeks. And my dad has been obsessed with the song as well. And did you guys know that the Peaches song may win an Oscar for how good it was? That's just rumors, though. I've only heard about it. If it is, though, I cannot wait for that, because I think it's Oscars for music. Or is it a Grammy? I think it might be a Grammy. I might get my things mixed up. I think Oscars are more for movies, which the Super Mario Brothers movie might win. Animation-wise, guys, absolutely breathtaking. It was literally like iconic areas of the Mario movie into this movie adaptation. So it's like the stages, like, for example, there was one from Mario Odyssey, there was Rainbow Road, and it's absolutely fantastic. Animation style's great, and don't let them say that Chris Pratt was a terrible Mario. In the beginning of the movie, it shows Chris Pratt as Mario for like this commercial, and it actually sounds really good. And there's parts that make sense. It can't always be the Mario voice. Toad was fantastic. Donkey Kong was fantastic. Charlie Day as Luigi was great. And Joanne Taylor, I must say, she's actually going to become like one of my favorite female actors. She gave Peach this strong female vibe, like really princess, protect all of her people kind of vibe, which is what a princess should do. Protect her people. And that's really what she did. It's a movie that's great for adults, and don't listen to the critics. The critics don't know what they're talking about. The movie's fantastic, and it's not going to be a life-changing story. I mean, again, the story's a little bit fast-paced, but for kids, guys, solid 10 out of 10. And from my personal review, 9 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic. From the actors to the animation to how the story was played out, it was fantastic. So please, if you haven't seen the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I recommend you check it out because it's fantastic. Anyways, though, I hope that you guys are excited, because next up we got somebody awesome. Who is it? It's going to be Jeffrey with his live music.
Hi, this is Jeffrey, your live musician, and I gotta say, great introduction there, Aiden. And I'm gonna be playing an original song called "Through the Darkness." So here we go. Not how dark today is. Tomorrow we'll capture the light. Not for a minute, an hour or day. There'll be another second to become bright. Turn off your sorrow, Don't swallow your anger, no matter who you are or how dark your past is today. Say no, just remember to let it go. Release the pain, say no. Turn off your sorrow, just let it go. Tomorrow will capture the light. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and then we'll fall together through the pain. Droplets of bright-colored rain. All it takes is a little flash and hope and dash of happiness. Glimpse of highlight to break the darkness. To brighten our mood and make things right. Need to work together, holding on so tight. Turn off your sorrow, don't swallow your anger. No matter who you are or how dark your past is today, say no. Turn off your sorrow, just let it go. Release the pain, say no. Turn off your sorrow, just let it go. Tomorrow we'll capture the light. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and move forward together through the pain. Droplets of bright-colored rain. It's just you and me and everyone else. Oh, it takes a little flash and hope and dash of happiness. Glimpse of highlights, break the darkness. To brighten our mood and make things right. We need to work together, holding on so tight. Turn off your sorrow, don't swallow your anger. No matter who you are or how dark, release the pain, say no. Turn off your sorrow, just let it go. Tomorrow we'll capture the light. Time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and then move forward together through the pain. Droplets of bright-colored rain. It's you and me and everyone else. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and move forward together through the pain. Oh, bright lights, droplets of bright-colored rain. Droplets of bright-colored rain. Droplets of bright-colored rain. Just you and me and everybody else. Thank you so much. This is Jeffrey, your live musician, and I'll see you all next week. And it's back to you, Aiden. Bye.
I love Through the Darkness, guys. It's a little bit of a sadder song, but you know what? It has a very deep message. Absolutely amazing, Jeff. And you know what? It's absolutely amazing end to our Youth Connect. Remember, guys, if you like Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and click on that subscribe button, and maybe even more. But make sure to wait. Oh my gosh, I forgot about.
And don't forget to click the notification bell.
Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell as well. Thank you, Kevin. I completely forgot. Anyways, guys, I hope you do had another amazing episode of Youth Connect. I hope you had some fun. I hope you learned a little bit more. And if you haven't checked out the Peaches song by Jack Black, please, oh, please check it out, because it's probably one of Jack Black's most greatest songs ever. Anyways, guys, catch you later, and we will see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.